This video will give tips for every single troop in Clash of Clans, meaning no matter what your town hall level, there is something here for you. Welcome back to the channel then, guys. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Let's keep this simple. Start with the Barbarian and move all of the way through the troops in the order they are unlocked. Many of the tips will be transferable between numerous troops, so the best value for you is by watching through. The Barbarian has the greatest amount of hit points for any single housing space troop. One of the benefits of this is you have a greater chance at checking for and popping Tesla in an area of the base. They are also good at the start of the attack for luring defending clan castle troops. They can absorb a few extra shots and give you more time to draw out the troops, again utilizing their higher hit points. This is also why your main use case of the Barbarians will be as part of a Barch attack, merging the Barbarians and the Archers. You can take advantage of their hit points, absorbing more fire from defenses. Meanwhile, the Archers can shoot over walls in order to take down the defenses, but most importantly, the loot for your farming. The Archer is a ranged troop. As mentioned, you can use it as part of the Barch strategy, but as you get higher up in the levels, I am always on the lookout when scouting bases for any buildings I can snipe out of the way of defenses with a single Archer. Why not? Thank you very much, buddy. The other main use case of an Archer is to pull an enemy Lava Hound. This is a great little tip for you if you were unaware, because the defending Lava Hound is meant to distract your troops while the defenses do damage. Since the Lava Hound cannot attack air troops, a ground archer can pull it to the side of the map, you can easily take it out, and it means your main army is just going to have a much easier ride. It might be that you can use a corner builder hut to easily pull this across, but even if not, if there is a corner hut, make sure to take one archer to easily take it out so that you do not time fail. The Giant is a high HP tank style troop, so you will use this purely to absorb fire for defenses. You then will use high damage troops behind, such as wizards, to set up the funnel, or even if you are doing a bow witch attack, I would recommend a line of giants first to set off traps and give your bowlers and witches a little bit extra time to get into the base. Following these principles at lower level, and indeed for farming, you can use the giant and wizard strategy, sending in a pack of giants with wizards behind and use heal spells over splash damage. The goblins are designed to steal loot and do twice the damage to resource buildings. That is why their best use case is in speed farming, deploying them onto mines and pumps on the outside of the base and then getting out of there. Another great farming strategy is the Goblin Knife. Once you have cleared out resource collectors on either side and you have your jump spell in place, test the pathing to assure the goblins go to the Dark Elixir storage. You can then bring a big pack of them in, use a rage spell in this area to assure you get it down, and as an added bonus, you might even get the Town Hall, which remember is also a storage. Another little tip for the goblins, since they are resource targeting, it might be that you can sneakily lure out the enemy clan castle troops, and this is also true for the next troop. We now have the Wall Breakers. They are one of the toughest troops to understand in Clash of Clans, but just know that the Wall Breakers target buildings, not walls. If we take a look at the side-by-side comparison, the Wall Breakers are attracted to the air defense on the left, but on the right-hand side of the screen, when we take down the air defense first, notice how the Wall Breakers are actually drawn up towards the builder hut. That is the first part of Wall Breakers for you to understand. The second part, which is again tricky, is notice where the Wall Breakers are attracted to, despite where I am deploying them. That is because the Wall Breakers, once they have chosen their target building, will attack walls en route to that building. It's why we see open wall compartments in the current meta, because to keep this simple, wall breakers are attracted to buildings inside of closed compartments. As you see here, a single wall breaker is attracted to the elixir collector, but once the elixir collector goes down, the wall break is targeted to the center, where we want it. This is why I would encourage you to send in one test wall breaker so you can check the pathing, but also if there is a small bomb, it means that it's not going to wipe out a group of your wall breakers. The balloon is a defense targeting air troop, which is great to supplement alongside a queen charge, drifting them in front of your queen to try and trigger the seeking air mines. A balloon is 5 housing space, whereas a healer is 14, so it makes sense. If you are using a rage spell, you can push the balloon through this in order to power it forward and hopefully flush out some of the black bombs. Even if you are doing a PEKKA smash, Yeti smash, Valkyries, any ground-based attack where you are using the healers to supplement that, use a couple of balloons as you enter the base. Most likely you will be using a rage and the warden ability in this area, and you can often get rid of a couple of seeking air mines, meaning you've protected multiple healers so they continue to help your ground troops. Also, pretty obvious, but the balloon can be merged in with just about any air attack for good success. The wizard is a high damage troop, but it is vulnerable due to its low hit points. In order to best utilize this, it needs to be well protected, so you could quickly clean up non-defensive buildings in a Hog Rider attack, set the funnel once the defenses are tanked, utilizing its high damage and its relatively low troop capacity. You can do this in a time-efficient manner. Remember when I told you to use an archer to snipe buildings? Well, you only get 3 minutes to attack, so it might be that you substitute that with a wizard for those high hit point structures, particularly if you're using it to set up the funnel. You do need to be time efficient as well. Pro tip for the wizard: if you are planning a queen charge lava loon, your queen goes down, you can deploy the wizard to the opposite side of the map to draw the healers across. This will mean that they are absorbing fire for defenses and potentially setting off air mines to better protect your air attack. The healer is a one of a kind. It is the only troop that, did you guess it? It heals your troops. It does only heal ground troops, and its effectiveness does not equally stack. So the first 2 healers you use will heal with 100% effectiveness. The following 2 only heal with 90% effectiveness, then it drops to 70%, then 40%, 10%, and your 8th healer does nothing. That is why, unless you are funning around, you will typically only use 4 to 5 healers with your attack. It can be merged in with any ground attack, but its main strategy is as part of a queen charge. Yes, we can do Grand Warden walks, Royal Champion charges, but the queen walk is the main one. Whenever you use a rage spell, make sure you encompass both the healers and the queen. Do not forget the Coco Loons, as I mentioned earlier, and higher level, be careful of the Town Hall. Depending on the angle of your queen, your healers might not outrange it, so you'll need a freeze spell. Finally, a word of warning: if you are doing a queen walk and using other ground troops in the same area, wait until the queen has taken damage, otherwise the healers might be drawn to the wrong troop. Don't worry, we've all been there, but it is not a situation you want to be in. The dragon is personally my favorite troop in Clash of Clans. There's just something about watching them fly through the base, and I'm going to give you tips in relation to the mass dragons, which is predominantly how you will be using this troop. Funneling is everything. You need pathing for the dragons because they attack any building, and it's important so that you can focus their fire to the major defenses. Lower level, this is the air defense, but higher up, this could be the Inferno Towers, the enemy queen. You need to make sure that you are raging to these defenses, not necessarily past them. You just need them down ASAP. If you are using the freeze spells to supplement this, try and get additional value around the air defense, but I will be doing a video in the future on tips for all spells. Be sure to subscribe in order to see that. We actually now have over 25% of you all subscribed, so thank you all for the support. The PEKKA is fantastic at lower level as part of a Go Wipe or higher level as part of a PEKKA Smash, but it doesn't have a lot of other use cases. Get it into the middle of the base, let it do its thing. However, my tip for you is that you can use the P.E.K.K.A for funneling. It is predictable in its pathing, it has a lot of hit points, and you can merge it back in with your P.E.K.K.A smash. You can use the Barbarian King for this, but it's another tool you should be aware of. Also, try to deploy your P.E.K.K.A together, because the healers actually heal in a splash area, meaning you can have all of your P.E.K.K.A healed as they move through the base. The baby dragon gains an enraged bonus when there are no other air troops next to it, but if it is tanking an archer tower, I would recommend sneaking in a couple of balloons to take this out and extend the funnel, because predominantly in war, that is what you will be using the baby dragon for, utilizing the enraged bonus to easily create the funnel for your attack. My favorite use of the baby dragon though is for farming. I use lightning spells to potentially take out air defense and just make it a little bit easier, and then you can spread the baby dragons around the base. Make sure to space them out to utilize the enraged bonus, but try to target point defense first so you can take those out, and then your baby dragons have an easier time getting the loot. The great thing about this strategy is it is strong enough to easily take out the mines and pumps on the outside, even if taking damage, but you can also get in towards the storages. I did go into this in a little bit more depth with my tips for every town hall level video. I will link you across to that video at the end of this one actually. The miner is used in some of the most popular war strategies, whether it's the Queen Charge Mass Miner or hybrid mixing in Hog Riders. Much like the dragons, you have to set up pathing. You will have done this with your Queen Charge and the Barbarian King on the other side of the base, meaning the miners can concentrate their fire on defenses. As a general rule of thumb, use a heal spell as they initially hit splash damage defenses, the Grand Warden ability through the middle, try and sneak some Headhunters in there as well if you can, and another heal spell after the Warden ability towards the back end splash defenses. Also, you can use the miner to sneak into the inside of the base and clean up after Hog Riders. Remember I said you can use wizards? Well, what happens if the compartments mean the wizards do not have access? Because the miner burrows underground, you could use this to successfully take out the clan castle, any storages on the inside, so that you do not time fail. I have a very important tip for the Electro Dragons, but first, just in general, know that they can only chain between buildings that are only one tile apart. So you want to assure that the major threats, air defense, inferno towers, you can actually chain to. Also, if you do happen to fly in towards a sweeper, I would highly recommend a freeze. The E-Drags are very slow. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I always used to miss the rage spells on the E-Dragons. I think it's because we tend to put spells in front of troops so they move into it. But take a look at the shadow of the E-Dragon. This is actually where the E-Dragon is. It's where the game calculates the troop positioning. Even though it looks like the rage spell is partly covering the E-Dragon, if you are not encompassing the shadow, then the troop will not be enraged. So my advice, just know that the E-Drags are a little bit different than other troops. Put the rage spell on the shadow. Whilst the Yeti might seem like a big investment with 18 housing space, it is brilliant for a couple of things. Firstly, funneling. Whilst you can do the Yeti smash as I mentioned earlier, I wanted this video to be more about tips. And I will bring you a video on strategy specific for different levels in the future, so be sure to subscribe in order to see that. The Yeti attacks normal buildings. The Yeti might go to defenses, so whenever you have a defense behind normal buildings, you can take all of that out with a single Yeti to funnel. The Yeti blimp is also a great use case, sending Yetis inside the bats or blimp. You may decide to rage this area. You're going after key targets. It may be the town hall, although sneaky goblins are also good for this, perhaps a single target inferno or the eagle artillery, whilst luring clan castle troops. This is fantastic if you are doing a queen charge, not only destroying the clan castle troops at the edge of the base, but you've already taken out that chunk, and it's much easier to then direct the queen where you want her to go. Beware, depending on where you're sending in the blimp, this could be one of those situations where the healers go after the Yetis, so delay the deployment of the healers. Don't say I didn't warn you. The Dragon Rider is a beefed up version of the Dragon, but it is defense targeting, which means the enemy Queen and Royal Champion could be an issue for you. For that reason, I would recommend sending in some Headhunters so that when you press the Grand Warden ability, the Headhunters can run in front of the Dragon Riders and take down these enemy heroes. Whilst there are a few different strategies for the Dragon Riders, if you can hold onto the Stone Slammer and blend it in, it works very well. Due to the range of the Dragon Riders, it will be out in front. This means not only is it absorbing damage from defenses, it's actually able to deal damage to the defenses, and on top of all of this, it can absorb the Seeking Air Mines, which is one of the main threats for Dragon Riders. Whilst every troop has its strengths and weaknesses, it's trying to take advantage of that. So due to the Dragon Rider's range, another thing I like to do is use invisibility spells, because it is so easy to get the placement right and not accidentally turn buildings invisible. Just another thing for you to consider. The Minion is the first Dark Elixir troop you unlock and is only 2 housing space. So to get this first little tip out of the way, you can use it to snipe buildings exactly how I told you with the Archer, as it is not susceptible to ground defenses. One of its top use cases in higher level play is to send it in after popping a defending Lava Hound in order to take out some of the lava pups and alleviate damage off your healers. A word of warning though, if you are doing this next to the Town Hall but you do not want the Town Hall activated, maybe you have a different plan for it, whilst the Minion can take out the lava pups, it might end up drifting across if there's no defenses to take it down. Activate the Town Hall and that could be disaster for your healers. The Hog Rider is commonly used as part of a mass Hog Rider attack, but what I like to do, if I have taken out the defenses on the perimeter, is send one in to target the second layer of defenses. This can often mean you can set off traps, such as the Giant Bomb, but most importantly, lure the Clan Castle troops. You can then pull them to the edge of the map and take them out, so they're much less of a threat. My second tip for the Hog Riders is if you are doing the ever so popular hybrid. Miners target any building, Hog Riders target defenses, so if you have regular buildings in front of the defenses, particularly high hit point storages, use the miners and hold the deployment of the Hog Riders so that they can work in unison as they get to the defenses in the base. Valkyries deal a whirlwind splash damage. They try and attack multiple buildings, but they are great for taking down enemy skeletons, enemy clan castle troops. They are tricky to path though. Even though it looks like I had the funnel set, I left a couple of buildings, the wall break wasn't in place, and they split. So if you're sending them into the middle of the base, make sure you have a wide funnel, make sure your jump spells direct the path exactly where you want them to go. Try not to open too many different compartments. Sending Valkyries into the base though, I feel is more catered to Town Hall 8 and 9. However, you can take one Valkyrie to sneak in and take out skeletons, maybe clan castle troops if you are sending a hero to get the Town Hall, or even the Royal Champion next to Inferno Towers. The Golem is fantastic at lower level. It is a huge tank. It has a lot of hit points to absorb the damage from defenses. I've already mentioned you can use this alongside wizards to set up the funnel, but higher level, you might use it with a hero dive where you suspect a spring trap. That is the main benefit of the Golem, is that since it is 30 housing space, it is not susceptible to the spring trap, whereas the Ice Golem or multiple giants would be. The Witch is a unique troop in that periodically it will continue to spawn skeletons. Be aware that the skeletons will not trigger traps, and this can leave the Witch vulnerable. That is why you will need something else in order to help protect them. It could be a Golem out in front or healers behind. It is one of the best and arguably the easiest Town Hall 9 attack, sending a Golem and Witches to one side of the base, a Golem and Witches to the other, with, guess what? A Golem, Witches, and your heroes pushing through the center. You can also use the mass witches, the so-called witch slap, at Town Hall 10, but with freeze spells for splash damages, even the wall wrecker if you have access to it. But what you see here is how we will typically see witches used at higher level, supplementing the Barbarian King into compartments on the perimeter of the base, and we normally see this alongside smash style attacks. We often talk about funneling, pathing. That is exactly what we are doing here, breaking the king to the compartment with the witches to help, so we can take out this area and make sure the PEKKA smash moves where we want it to go. The Lava Hound, you can think of this as a flying golem, but it will directly target the air defense, so you do have to be careful on where the air defense are situated. It could fly right across the map if you are not careful. Normally we see it in a lava loon attack, as it will nicely tank the defenses for the balloons to then target them, but you could also supplement a dragon attack as long as the air defense was well positioned. If an air defense lines up with my angle of attack for a blizzard, I will often use a Lava Hound here because it can tank for a significant amount of time and allow my battle blimp to cruise right on into the base. You can also do this with a Yeti blimp anywhere you need the battle blimp to an area, but if you don't always have an air defense directly in the line you want, you can send the Lava Hound in, turn the air defense invisible to redirect the Hound, and that could be the difference maker of your battle blimp getting to your desired location. The bowler is able to bounce a boulder, quite a tongue twister, across multiple buildings, and it's important you know the damage is exactly the same, so you need to assure the building behind that you are trying to take down is less in hit points than the first building. One of its great use cases is exactly as you have just seen, sniping air defense at the side of the base. Remember I told you the witch attack at Town Hall 9? If you have access to bowlers, I would highly recommend taking them in your clan castle. The Ice Golem is personally my favorite tank style troop. At 15 troop capacity, it's relatively easy to slot into your composition, and its unique mechanic gives it a lot of use cases. My favorite is with a hero dive. Maybe you've already taken out a section of the base, now you're sending your heroes. Not only does it tank, once it goes down, it pops as a freeze spell, freezing defenses, and you can be surprised as to how much extra value you can get if you can manage to take one in your army. Sometimes we see the ice golems used inside the wall wrecker or the log launcher, because as they come out of the siege machine, they are already into the heart of the base, and sometimes this can end up giving huge value, especially if your archer queen is standing just behind this. Another great use case of the Ice Golem is tanking and then freezing a wizard tower on the perimeter of the base if this is the area you are sending in a bat wave, such as with a drag bat or PEKKA Bobat style attack. The Headhunter hunts the head of heroes. It will directly target them, slowing them down and also dealing a ton of damage. So I really like to sneak one Headhunter in whenever there is a hero to the perimeter of the base. Remember when I said you could use the Goblin or the Wall Breaker to lure clan castle troops? There might be situations where you do this with a Headhunter. Even if the heroes are not to the edge of the base, I would highly recommend some Headhunters if you are using defense targeting troops, such as the Dragon Riders, which would not fight back. You can sneak a couple of Headhunters in when you're about to use the Warden ability, because they will run across the map, and this could be huge for taking out the enemy queen or the defending royal champion. Whilst this technique with the Headhunters and the Warden ability is brilliant in majority of situations, and I would recommend you do it, it does depend on the strategy. If you are using mass dragons, you want the dragons to take the clan castle down so the troops are not lured, but you use Headhunters, you run the risk of them luring the clan castle, and then your dragons are stuck trying to take it out in the middle of the base. I hope this video helped you out. If you want to see my tips for every town hall level, it is on your screen right now alongside the subscribe button. You guys take care, and I will see you in the next video.